Oh, hi friends of Culture Drop, it's Galen here. This video is about some communication hacks that are especially useful in remote work. Let's get right to it. What I want to say, oh wait, hold on, let's not get right to it. First I want to say, what's up BGC? I love BGC. Here's what I want to say, and specifically in terms of communication, when we are working remotely or hybrid, or we're not in face-to-face with somebody else, here's the dynamic that exists. When we communicate with anybody else in the universe, we collect data from that person to help us interpret what they're saying to us. So somebody's, like their facial expressions, their tone of voice, the words that they choose, all of those things are data and information that we use to interpret, like, is this person mad? Are they happy? Are they frustrated, right? All of those things that help us to accurately interpret what somebody else is saying to us. So when we're working in a remote environment and we're communicating via email or text or Slack, right, or just by a phone call, we're missing some of those critical pieces of information of communication between people. What that means is that I could read your text and be like, and think that you're upset or frustrated based on like the tone of voice that I have to intuit from this. And we have very different communication style. Physically pains me to write an email where I do not add an exclamation point to let this person on the other side know that I'm good and we're having a good conversation and I'm happy. Other people do not communicate like that. So you have a variety of different communication styles and how people show up in different situations that we're also having to navigate and interpret when we're working remotely. So it's very important to be conscious and have discretion around. Anytime we're having a conversation with someone, we don't have all of the information that we normally would if we were face-to-face with that person. So specifically, the kind of tip that I want to add here is around avoiding conflict and avoiding miscommunications. And that is this, that the platform that you're communicating on, whether that is text, Slack, email, etc., phone call, video call, face-to-face, is that the more chance that there is for the situation to be not emotionally neutral, the more important it is that we are on a platform that has the most amount of information possible. So if I'm, for example, giving you feedback, or we're having a conversation that like may have emotion to it on some level, the best case scenario is that we can do that face-to-face or with a video call or over the phone where you can hear my tone of voice and you can gather as much information as possible, not via Slack. And this isn't just true at work, and I think everybody can relate to this in terms of personal communication or like romantic communications. If you're talking about something serious, don't do it over text. It's too easy to misinterpret what somebody's saying. Same thing at work. So just be conscious and aware of that if we're having a conversation that we feel like emotions starting to creep in, or I read something and I'm like, is Jay frustrated about this? I'm immediately gonna pick up the phone and I'm immediately gonna address that to be like, let's take this as close to you and I connecting as possible so I can interpret, right? And be like, hey, just checking in. Are you frustrated? Is everything good here? If I'm starting to not be able to assume positive intent, or I pick up on something that I think is static, I'm gonna immediately address it, immediately sort of like, try to correct that. And there's discretion involved here, but remember that when you're communicating remotely based on the channel and platform that you're communicating on, there's room for misinterpretation. Just be aware of those things. And my advice is the second you start to feel any kind of static or things don't feel like 100%, everything is great, pick up the phone, get on a video call, connect with that person to avoid a miscommunication, to avoid a situation where one person's upset and the other one doesn't know it, or somebody isn't upset and the other person thinks that they are upset based on what they're interpreting. I think that leads to a lot of mayhem in office jobs and workplaces when we're working remote and hybrid. Thanks for watching and tuning in. Subscribe to our channel. We put a lot of content on here. You can also subscribe to the Culture Drop mailing list and get these emails in your inbox every Tuesday morning. Follow our social media channels. Put a lot of free content out about just being more awesome and building great teams.